Hello and welcome. Please make sure you have your pen and paper. Please know our recording of this workshop. This is my copyrighted information, and any references I have to any information, I have put them in the slide. So let's not do any owl recording of the workshop, please. Thank you so much. And today is day 2 of summer camp. Our flower essences that we're going to be using are peppermint, pink yarrow, cherry plum, garlic, chamomile, mimulus, and essential oils of orange, peppermint, chamomile, and ginger. You also will need a 1 ounce 30 ml like squeeze bottle, right? Now, if you don't have these things, don't worry about it. If you attend, you will get the slides. That way you can make it at home when you have time. And 1 ounce of castor oil. Then we'll have 2 ounces, a 2-ounce spray bottle, 10 ml of brandy, 50 ml of water, and a cookie sheet. And then for our drink today, we have peppermint tea bag, ginger tea bag, 8 ounces of water, 1 teaspoon of honey, and an 8-ounce tea cup. So you see, I have mine already made, and I already have my spray made too. So remember, never underestimate the power of peppermint. You're going to learn a lot more today about the power of peppermint. Also, make sure you have your earbuds in or your headphones on. And if you can, hook up to Ethernet. That way you'll have a direct connection and you won't be coming in and out and get knocked off. If you're moving a lot with your computer too, and you're going in different rooms and you're moving around, then sometimes you're going to lose connection. You're going to get knocked off. It's just the Wi-Fi, the way it is in different houses, different walls and things like that. So it's better if you're hooked into your Ethernet, and that way you have a clear connection. All right, so we're going to get going here in just a few seconds. Talk to you soon. So welcome to Peppermint Summer Camp Part 2. It's July 1st, 2026, and I'm so happy to have all of you here with me today. You're going to be learning about peppermint essential oil and the flower essence, and we're going to be making blends with those and other essential oils for gut aches. So our opportunities to be healthier. When I got involved in all this 38 years ago, I did everything I could. I went to every class. I drove all over the state of California to learn as much as I could about natural health. So we have some free things that you guys can watch and participate in. It's wonderful. Isn't that great? So watch our June health forecast, Keep Cool and Calm with Peppermint Essential Oil and Flower Essence. That is on our YouTube channel. And Ruth will put the link in the chat to that so you can go and watch that and learn more about Peppermint Essential Oil and Flower Essence. Then also you can go to my blog at lorihargis.com/lori-hargis-blog/ and there you can just type that in, go to the blog, put peppermint in, and you'll find more articles and more blogging about peppermint. Then also, everyone who has attended the class, we're offering you a free 30-minute aromatherapy call with me. One question that we can dial in on so I can help you. And if it's about your gut health, that would be great. So Ruth will put that in the link too. And it's a free 30-minute call. Just remember that I am in France right now. So I'm 6 hours ahead of Eastern time. I'm 7 hours ahead of Mountain time, 9 hours ahead of Pacific, and 8 hours ahead of Central Time. Then also, we would love for you guys to join our Common Sense community, and we have Common Sense community members on today with us. And we are so happy that we have this community, because a community is something that, you know, you want to be involved with people who have something in common with you. And in this group, we're all into natural health. And we've got people who are just beginning, just learning. We've got aromatherapists, we've got chiropractors, we've got podiatrists, we've got flower essence practitioners. It's just a great group of people. And we share every Tuesday morning at 9:30 a.m. It's in our group chat on WhatsApp. And you can always go if you can't be there. People work, things happen, right? So you guys can see the group chat, see what we've talked about. And then once a month, the first Tuesday of every month, like next Tuesday is July 7th, and we have our Common Sense Community Workshop. And next week it's going to be on, irritation and itching from mosquito bites and insect bites. And you're going to learn all about mosquitoes and how to repel mosquitoes and how to help yourself when you get bites. And Ruth is an expert at this because she's highly allergic to mosquitoes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask, it looks like Michelle is here. Michelle, I want to share with people too about our dynamic detox program. You're still in it. And I'm going to hit your thing here, turn your sound, unmute you if you can come on, and tell us how you're doing on the dynamic detox.
Well, I'm actually doing, to me, physically really well and emotionally really well. I went into it expecting like at least the first week to have major crash because, coffee is life. but, but I stopped it. I had no issues with it. I didn't get a headache or anything like that. Um, and figuring out how to combine the foods that we were allowed and just working through it, and it went really well. The the bowels were great. It's just interesting how each one is, because some of them are different. That's obviously part of the detoxing. Um, I've had my dream uptake has been crazy. I've had better energy. I've been sleeping better at night. Um, just overall feeling better. I can actually see when the shift is. I continue with the detox. So we started like with liver, then we did gallbladder, then we're doing small intestine. And I can actually feel my body shift into like, okay, now the next organ needs to be clean. Um, the gallbladder one was crazy because I remember we talked about how that one day I was just disgusted, annoyed, I don't want anything. And then I had that one crazy dream where I'm telling a person, you need mustard flower essence. And then, like, that's not enough. You need self heal. And I woke up like, what was that all about? And that's when you told us that it had to do with the gallbladder thing. I was like, wow, I processed it twice. So it's interesting because it allows you to know your body more, what you're sensitive to, and things like that. Like I know for a fact, because I did an experiment. Milk and me, anything dairy wise, I'm okay with goat, maybe once or twice a week, goat cheese. But anything that's dairy, automatically it produces mucus and my eyes won't stop leaking water. It's one of the strangest things. So I was like, okay. So I flush everything out, but it has been really, really good. Overall, health wise, it's been a lifesaver. I feel more in tune with myself and the healing process.
Great, great. And I know a lot of inflammation, and you've also lost some weight too, which is very.
Right. More inches than weight, maybe like about 5 pounds. But
Mhm.
I figure it's like, you know what? I'm just going to continue working through it. It'll come off slowly. I need my focus is to balance my entire system. And I
Mm-hmm.
like the way I'm feeling, and I want to
Great.
continue.
Well, thanks, Michelle. I'm so glad that you did it. It's
Yes.
wonderful. You and Kathy and Brenda are continuing to detox. It's
Yes.
fantastic. And I love doing it. And like you said, now we go through a different meridian each month. And right now we're on the small intestine. We'll start a new program in September. And so that's why Ruth has put in the chat the link to it. There is payment plans if you want to start making a payment plan now, so that way you're all paid up by the time we start, or if you want to make one payment. So the detox program, you have videos, you have uh, your supply list of everything you need, you have a 1 hour coaching call with me, and you have group coaching calls for the first 7 days every single day. And on the 10th day, you have another one. And then after that, it's once a week. This way I can really follow you, see how well you're doing, because you've changed your diet, you've changed a lot of things all at once. And I want to make sure, and my team want to make sure that you're doing it in a healthy and you're happy doing it. That is really important. And of course, when you start in something like this, people are a little bit anxious. So that way we've given you all the videos, we've given you all the information, and then you have me every single day for 7 days. And then after that, it's once a week. So we would be thrilled to have you guys in September. So make sure you mark that on your calendar and you join the Common Sense, because when you join the Common Sense, then you get 10% off the Dynamic Detox program. So thank you guys so much for that. And thank you, Michelle, for sharing. I really appreciate it. Okay, so do you have gut aches? How many of you have suffered with gut aches? Raise your hand. Okay, quite a few of you. And if you want to put in the chat, what kind of gut ache? Have you been constipated? Do you have irritable bowel syndrome? Do you get gas and bloating? What are the different challenges that you have with your gut? How I got started in natural health 38 years ago was I went to a reflexologist and asked her if she did iridology. She said yes. And she immediately read my eyes and told me that I needed to be on a cleanse, a detox. And that's why I love detoxing with people, because it's the very beginning of what I did and how I benefited from it so much. I was starting to have skin outbreaks and the doctor told me I was allergic to the sun. I have been water skiing since I was 3 years old. I'm in the sun all the time. Yeah, I've got sun damaged skin, but I am not allergic to the sun. It was my immune system and my colon, my intestines, my guts were not moving correctly. And now Ruth says she's had IBS, acid reflux, some intestinal pain, depending on the food she eats. So we can see how this really affects people. And you're going to see some statistics that you will not believe. You're like, wow, it really does hit people. And I remember when I started passing parasites the first time, that was really interesting, because what happened was I started having diarrhea. And I called my herbalist, my reflexologist. She says, come in and I'll work on your ileocecal valve. Well, I had just been in this 6 weeks. I didn't know what my ileocecal valve was. And the ileocecal valve is a valve that's in between your ascending colon and your small intestine. And what it does is it stays closed when you don't need to poop, but it opens up and sends the stuff into the ascending colon from the small intestine in that little area there. It's very, very, very tiny, but it's very important. And what happens, she says, well, sometimes when you go on a cleanse, you'll have diarrhea because you've got parasites and stuff stuck in that ileocecal valve, and it's staying open and it needs to shut. So that was besides reflexology, that was my first body work I ever had done. And then I learned to do it. She taught me to do it, and that became a lifesaver when people got sick or when they were passing things or they had diarrhea. It really helped. So, that's a class that we also teach. That's usually in like October, we teach a class on that. So if anybody's interested in learning how to adjust the hiatal hernia and to do the ileocecal valve, put it in the chat and Ruth will put you on the waiting list for that class. So gut aches in my family was something that I was pretty much used to. My mother, from the time I can remember, suffered from gut aches, gas, bloating, constipation. And when she would have an argument with her sister, they really had a difficult relationship. One minute, my aunt would be okay with my mother, and then the next minute she'd call my mother and cuss her out. And we realize now that my aunt was bipolar, and because no, she was doing this with everyone. It just wasn't my mother, but my mother is very sensitive, and so then she would have diarrhea and go to bed. And then she also would have diarrhea when we were late for school. It would make her so nervous that we were late for school, she'd have diarrhea. And then we were later for school and we were standing around waiting for her, to come out of the bathroom. And she just didn't know how to process her emotions. She just didn't know how to settle herself, how to regulate herself, because she had a very tumultuous family life. And her mother had died when she was 17 years old, and she had me when she was 18. So, she was a young person, and she just didn't have those skills because the way she had been raised. So by the time she was in her mid 40s, she began having menopausal symptoms. She read an article on reflexology. She made an appointment with a reflexologist and purchased some herbs and vitamins to help her stop hot flashes, fatigue, and nervousness. After using the products, my mother began to feel better. And then that's the reason I went to reflexology, was because of my mother. And she then started using herbs, and and my mother loves peppermint oil to help her with her gastrointestinal problems. Now that she's, in her 80s, there's been some times I've had to remind her, Mom, you have this because of that. You have a lot of gas because you've got parasites. So, then I have to remind her to go on a parasite cleanse. And she does it, and then she gets better. So, you know, gut problems are something that most everybody has, and we can all help each other with these different tools that you're going to learn today. So, do you know digestive symptoms are common among the general population? A recent survey of 50,033 adults across 26 countries revealed that 1 in 4 adults reports one or more frequent digestive symptoms, even in the absence of a diagnosed gastrointestinal disorder, namely organic gastrointestinal disorders or disorders of gut-brain interaction, like irritable bowel syndrome. While these symptoms affected males and females equally, they became less common with increasing age. Poor diet quality is associated with more severe digestive symptoms, anxiety and depression. So we can see when our brain and our gut aren't connected, right? How this can affect us emotionally, how it can affect us physically, mentally, because we're not getting the connection. And then if we don't have the proper amount of good bacteria in our gut, and there's also, there's microbiome in your lungs too, they found. So it's not just in your gut. So you've got to have good bacteria throughout your body to help your body be strong and have a good immune system. So when things come along, you don't pick them up and you don't have diarrhea and you don't have these kinds of challenges and you feel good and your mind's clear, right? So today we're looking at 38 years of my experience, and we have references for scientific research that we have searched for in the last 2 weeks. And then we're also doing Chinese medicine, which is the ancient teachings, along with the things that I have learned throughout these years. And in natural health, gut health is so important. It's like I said, it's the first thing that you learn about normally. And today we're going to be using essential oils and flower essences. We're going to be doing some breath work to connect your brain, your heart, and your gut. And that will connect all your energetic bodies out here and will balance your yin and your yang, right? And help you incorporate your mental and emotional wellness to develop self-confidence and knowledge. Our movement will be acupressure, so have your thumbs ready. We'll have a 1, 2, 3 formulations. And if you have something to say, put it in the chat. We'll look through that. And we hope this will help you learn how to direct your energy to be active, radiant, and giving, because that's the goal, is for you to feel healthy. So let's start off first with a clearing the head exercise. And you need to have your peppermint essential oil. How many of you brought your peppermint essential oil? If that's the only thing you brought, that would be fantastic. Great. A lot of you did. Wonderful. So this is, yesterday we did the second exercise, crown press and pull. But today we're going to start off doing clearing congestion. And it's very, very simple. We're going to rub our hands together like this, right? Because your hands are full of energy. Rub our hands like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to imagine your head is like a clock. And you're going to take one of your hands, whichever hand you prefer, and you're going to go over your head, but in a counterclockwise motion. Okay? Anti-clockwise, all right, is what you're going to do. All right, so I'm going to start that way because I went backwards because I'm dyslexic and I do everything backwards half the time. So we're going to start on the side of your head, and then we're going to go to the front of your head, right, like this, and over the top of your head. Okay. Now over to the other side of your head. Over your head like this, and then the back of your head. Okay. It's very simple, very easy to do, and you can do this as often as you want. And this clearing the congestion, as we talked about yesterday, in your head space, we all need space. And sometimes we have maybe a lot of projects going on, or we've got a person that we're focusing in on. And, that's not good because we're giving our energy to that person, or we're giving our energy to too many different things at once, and we get all congested up here in our crown chakra of our head. So when you do this exercise here, this really helps. Okay, so you can do it as often as you want. So now that I've showed you how to do it, let's take a short sniff of your peppermint. Nice, huh? And let's go over our head one more time, and then we'll do the crown press and pull. So just take your hand, rub them together again. And now let's go in a counterclockwise motion on the side of our head. Go up a little higher here. Go across the front of our head. Along the other side of our head, and then come around to the back. and go to the top of your head, and come back here to the other side. All right, now the second exercise we're going to do, I'm going to push back my seat here a little bit, is what you're going to do is you are going to take your 4 fingers like this, and you are going to put them above your ears, all right, above your ears, and you're going to see this is where your crown is here, right? That's where your crown is. Okay, so you're going to come down from your crown and you're going to go to the sides of your forehead, because this is your governing vessel here, all along here, the midline of your head. So we're going to come down here to your forehead. And what you're going to do is you're going to press in your forehead here, press in, and then you're going to pull your fingers out to the side of your forehead. Okay? And then you're going to go up to your hairline and you're going to press in there and you're going to pull out to the side there. Okay? And then you're going to go up to the crown of your head and you're going to press in there and you're going to pull down. Okay? And then you're going to go to the back of your crown of your head, press in there and pull along the side of your head. Continue down the midline of the back of your head. Continue. And then go down the back of your cervical area here, press in there. And I suggest this is the occipital area here where I'm at. So you press in there and then you just pull. Now, as we get to the spinal column, you go on the side of your spinal column, all right? So you press on each side of your spinal column and then you pull. And you're going to pull down towards your mastoid and down into your collarbone. And then we're going to go to the next part of our cervical on the outside of the spinal column, press, and then pull again. And then the very back of our cervical area there, we're going to press in and we're going to pull. Okay? And that should release the congested energy. Now, these two exercises, I put the links in the material box. So you can follow, Prune Harris does these, and you can follow her on her YouTube channel, and you can see how she has done them too. And so what I've done is I've added the peppermint essential oil. Now, each time I do it, I feel brighter and lighter. Put in the chat how you're feeling right now with it. And I want to see how you guys are doing with this exercise. Okay, so yes, you go counterclockwise. Everything's counterclockwise on the first one. And Deborah said, recapping from a femur break. So watching today, great. I'm so glad that you're here and I hope you feel better. Michelle says her eyes are bright, shoulders relaxed, and less stress. Fantastic. Anybody else put it in the chat? And because this is, remember, acupressure moves energy for pain relief. And there's all kinds of study done on that, besides all the wonderful information we have from all of the ancient teachings. So in summer camp, you will learn what is a gut ache, what causes gut aches, are headaches connected to gut aches. Hear the research, what is peppermint essential oil and peppermint flower essence, how to use peppermint essential oil and peppermint flower essence in tea, castor oil pack, and spray for gut ache. Courage and let go meditation at the end. All right. So what is a gut ache? Gut aches are considered abdominal pain, cramps, bloating, leading to constipation or diarrhea. The inflammatory response plays a pivotal role in the transition from acute to chronic pain. When the body is not eliminating its toxins through the large intestine, this leads to various meteors orchestrating a cascade of events that perpetuate pain signaling and sensation. So, Mask 2024 states that the microbiome interacts directly with the immune system and plays a fundamental role in addressing inflammation and chronic pain. Dysbiosis within the gut and oral microbiota biota can fuel systematic inflammation, exuberating pain symptoms and influencing pain perception through the gut-brain axis. Additionally, microbial metabolites can influence immune function, reducing or perpetuating inflammation, which can further affect the experience of pain. Dietary factors also contribute significantly to inflammation and pain. Poor nutritional choices can exuberate immune responses, trigger low-grade inflammation, and they also perpetuating chronic pain conditions. So this is interesting. You get all these toxins in your system because you aren't eliminating through your large intestine. Your inflammation goes up in your body. And it's a sign when you have a gut ache. It really is a sign. It's telling you something. So, you get a cramp and you're like, oh no, I'll be all right. Oh no, I'll continue working. Oh, I'm bloated. I'll continue working. Oh no, I won't go to the toilet. All these things start happening to you, and what this does is then it puts you in inflammation and then leads to acute pain, subacute pain, and then chronic pain, and then you've got a chronic illness. And we're going to have a master class on chronic illness in August, so we'll be sharing that with you in the next coming month. So, what are causes of gut aches? According to Edgar Casey, constipation, inadequate, difficult, or infrequent evacuation of fecal content from the bowels probably causes greater disturbance of function and more symptoms of disease in the human being than any other single condition. And this is what my teacher, Dr. Bernard, taught me, who I was certified in iridology with. He taught me that death begins in the colon. You got to keep the colon clean. That's just the way it is. And here, Chu 2025 says chronic constipation affects 27% of the population in Western countries, with a higher prevalence among women, older individuals, and those with lower social eco status. Millions of people around the globe suffer from constipation, which is considered a significant public health issue. Aside from economic costs, constipation significantly affects the quality of life of patients, both mentally and physically. The risks of constipation are related to factors such as living environment, dietary habits, and unhealthy behaviors. So let's look at some of these things that cause constipation. Alcohol. If you're drinking alcohol that's 15% alcohol or more, it can slow down your motility, due to dehydration. That's why yesterday I said when you drink alcohol on a plane, you're dehydrating yourself horribly, and you can't expect to get off the plane and be able to poop good, right? Because now you're dehydrated. So dehydration is another thing. Certain foods such as processed meats and cheeses, sugar, white flour, candy, fast food. And I also found a study on smoking. People think when they smoke, oh, I stay thin. I just have one cigarette after a meal. And that's how I keep my figure. But you don't realize that when you smoke a cigarette, the catarrh from it goes down your mucous membranes into your intestine and blocks it up. And smokers have problems with constipation. So you might be skinny, but you're going to be a sick skinny gal or a sick skinny guy someday from smoking. And it's said in the study that people who are around secondhand smoke are affected too. and have constipation from smelling secondhand smoke. I thought it was really interesting. So, also changes in sleep if you're not getting to bed before 11 o'clock, because 11 o'clock is the time in the Chinese time clock that you need to get to bed. So, your body can process and clean your blood. And then through the night, detox the liver. Then it goes into detoxification of the lungs. And if you don't get to bed early enough, your body can't do those things it needs to do. So make sure that you start slowing down, because remember, we're in a rhythm. When we get up in the morning, we're in a yin state. So we're going up. We're going up. Yin goes up. And then after lunch, we start going into yang, which comes down. And then that's why in a yang, so yin is up, standing up, yang is laying down. So that's why you start, the energy starts changing during the day, and the atmospheric pressure starts changing too. And that's why you start winding down. So get good rest, because if you don't get good rest, your body won't detoxify. Poor posture. If you're not sitting up straight, you're always with your phone like this all the time, you can't go to the bathroom because everything's blocked here in your lower abdomen because you're like this, okay? No physical activity. You got to move. Life is all about movement and change. It's not being sedentary and not doing anything. It's movement and change. The world changes constantly. It never stands still. Nature changes constantly. The birds change constantly outside, even the little songs they're singing. So make sure that you are moving. Then look at how are you responding in your life, in your relationships, in situations. Are you getting pissed off all the time? Are you angry? Do you have a lot of anger? Are you resentful? Do you hold grudges for years and years and years and never let them go? Do you have a lot of stress or tension that you hold in your gut, right? And after you have an argument, you get that feeling, bad feeling in your stomach, or you have disagreements. Think about that, because that is the first thing that will start you to be constipated. And then your foods are second, and your sleep. But your behavior is super important. Okay. So let's go to our next cause. And our next cause is irritable bowel syndrome, which is a functional gastrointestinal disorder characterized by recurrent abdominal pain and discomfort associated with altered bowel habits that occur in the absence of structural, biochemical alterations or other organic gastrointestinal GI diseases. The main symptom of IBS are abdominal pain, cramps, constipation or diarrhea, bloating, and changes in stool pattern. So you can go from constipation to diarrhea. And the triggers are dehydration, sugar, smoking, including secondhand smoke, allergic to gluten, allergic to milk, and allergic rhinitis, which is when you have you're allergic to pollens and things like that. That affects your gut. And then the next one is not processing your emotions. You just let how can I say this? All of it run through you, right? You just can't even hold on to anything to process it. Not having the courage to face daily challenges. So when something happens, you say, I'm just, like my mother did. She'd have diarrhea and then she'd go lay in bed, put her head in the sand. She was depressed. So if you find yourself in this kind of vicious cycle, you just start smelling peppermint. First thing is just to start smelling peppermint, just to pop yourself out of it. Okay. Also, if you don't handle confrontation well, you take it all in and then you have diarrhea, right? And you don't really speak with the other person, and later on you think about it all the time, and then you say to yourself, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that, but you don't do anything about it. Months go on and you still haven't done anything about it, and it just goes over and over in your head, and you just keep having gut aches, stomach aches, bloating, gas, all this kind of thing. The other, I would say, situation is, and this is important too, using too many antibiotics wipes out the good bacteria, destroys the intestinal villi in the small intestine, right? Vaccinations do the same thing. My veterinarian, over 30 some years ago, I took my little fox terrier to him, and he said, Lori, there's nothing you can do for her. She was vaccinated as a puppy, and her intestinal villi is it's just gone, and so she's not absorbing anything. So I had to put her to sleep. So this is what these kinds of things do to us. Birth control pills also affect your microbiome in your gut. So if you've been on them, make sure you're taking probiotics. Antidepressants also do the same thing. They affect your gut. There's all kinds of studies done on it. So these are all things to keep in mind. So this was a research, and we talked a little bit about it yesterday. And it's a review, and it's on gastrointestinal headaches and how headaches are connected to our gut. So now we see, when we look at all the different gut challenges, and those are just two of them, but when we look at that, we can then understand why you would have a headache. If things aren't moving through your intestines and out of your body, it's called auto intoxication. Your body gets too toxic, and then what happens is that your blood is trying to your liver is trying to filter all of these toxins, but it can't function properly. And the skin, like what I was having, the skin takes over and tries to eliminate it through the skin, and the kidneys try to eliminate as much as they can, and the lungs then try to cough up stuff. But your bowels have to move. Otherwise, you're going to have headaches caused from toxins too. I'm not saying every headache is caused from that, but a lot of them are. A lot of them are. So if I was having headaches on a regular basis, I would do detoxification for sure. And then find out what are my triggers through that. So yesterday we looked at what is peppermint essential oil for all, because we have new people on today. So thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. The country of origin is USA, Hungary, France, and India. Botanical family is Lamacina. Botanical name is Mentha pepperita. And it's steam distilled. It's the leaves, the flowers, and the tops. And the major chemical constituents are menthol, menthine, methyl acetate, and beta carphyllene. Physical actions on gut aches. It's antibacterial. So if you get an area where you have poop stuck and you get bacteria in there, peppermint can help you with that. It's analgesic, it's anti-inflammatory, and menthol, which is its major chemical constituent in studies, has shown to protect against inflammatory damage and chronic inflammation. Peppermint also is a smooth muscle relaxant. So if you're cramped up, you can give yourself a massage with peppermint essential oil. It's a carminative, so it helps you digest. It stimulates digestion. It's cooling and warming. It's antispasmodic. And the antispasmodic properties have been shown to help with gut function disorders, especially in IBS. And here below, I have the reference to it. It's also great for nausea and vomiting, and they have used it with cancer patients for nausea and vomiting. And as I said before, for indigestion. On the mental and psychic actions on gut aches, it's clarifying and awakening. How many of you guys feel more awake and more stimulated since you smelt peppermint? It also modulation of great. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for sharing that. Modulation of psychosocial distress. So it can help, say for example, you get nervous when you go somewhere or you're going to go meet new people. You could just in the car take a few short sniffs of peppermint and it could help you with that stress of relieving that along with the flowers that we're going to be using today, because we're going to be using pink yarrow, and that's a really good one. So emotional actions on gut aches is it's cooling, it's refreshing, it's uplifting, it's stimulating, and it's warming. Contraindication, do not use in pregnancy, lactation, or with children under 3 years of age. Here's some information that I found that I thought was really cool. It's called Cold Stimuli Hot Topic, an updated review on the biological activity of menthol, which is, remember, what is that? Put it in the chat if you know what it is. What is menthol in peppermint? Is it the number 2? Is it the number 3? Is it the number 1 chemical constituent? Just put in there whatever number you think it is in relation to inflammation. So it works on gastrointestinal inflammation, cutaneous and submucosal tissue inflammation. So that's interior, right? Chronic inflammation and lung inflammation. This is why you can use it in an inhalation. Okay. So it's really a positive one. Let's see what anybody put inside the chat. Let's see who answered that question. It's number 1. That's right, Carolyn. Good job. And then Marcia said too that constipation leads to fissures and hemorrhoids. It sure does. And then that's another big problem. Also goes into varicose veins because if you sit on the toilet and you strain, you're also affecting the circulation in your legs. So that's another thing. So, and then all these things you have to have surgery for, all this stuff. So, let's poop good, right? So here is another review, and this one is the physiological effects and safety of peppermint oil and its efficacy in irritable bowel syndrome and other functional disorders. Chumpitz says placebo-controlled studies support its peppermint essential oil use in irritable bowel syndrome, functional dyspepsia, childhood functional abdominal pain, and post-operative nausea. Now, make sure when you're using any essential oil post-operative for nausea, yes, peppermint's great for that, but make sure people are hydrated. Do not put it directly on their skin. They could take a short sniff, but not directly on their skin because if they're dehydrated after surgery, their body will just take it in and it could give them a headache or they could break out in a rash. Peppermint oil is a natural product which affects the physiology throughout the gastrointestinal tract. So that means from the back of your throat clear down to the end of your rectum. Okay? And it's been used successfully for severe clinical disorders and appears to have good safety profile. Now, I know Ruth used this when she had COVID because it affected her whole gastrointestinal tract. And her doctor gave it to her. Ruth, would you mind coming on? it was encapsulated, right? Is that how it was? Or you can put it in.
Yeah, the peppermint essential oil was in capsules, absolutely. Yeah. And so basically it was one of the specialists. It wasn't my normal doctor who recommended it. It was one of the specialists that I went to see as part of the long COVID clinic. And because the whole gastrointestinal system had been affected by the virus, that is what he recommended, particularly in relation to the IBS and the also the acid reflux, was to just calm it down and calm down all the inflammation that was associated with it.
Great. And did it help you?
Oh, hugely. Yeah. And also it made your breath taste much better as well.
You didn't have to take a breath mint, right?
No, 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 definitely not. And because obviously, anybody who's ever suffered with kind of the bloating and I suppose, the burping that kind of goes with that whole thing. I mean, obviously you were constantly getting a mouthful of peppermint flavor, so, it's a win-win. But it did. I found that it actually helped and it helped very quickly, I will say. Because whenever, even now, because I still have episodes, because I don't think it'll ever go away. So now when I have episodes, it's probably one of the first things I reach for is to make myself a blend that I can put from the exterior and massage in, something that will always have peppermint in it. And then my capsules are always sitting on my desk just in case.
Fantastic. Well, great. So, Ruth is proof in the pudding that peppermint works. Thank you, Ruth, for sharing. I appreciate it.
No problem.
So let's look now. What is peppermint flower essence? Peppermint flower essence, the pattern of imbalance is for when you're feeling dull and sluggish, especially mental lethargy. And if you're having constipation and headaches together, or IBS and headaches together, which is what we're talking about, gut aches and headaches, you're not clear in your mind. There's no way. There's no way. You could basically call yourself a poop head, right? Because you're just not thinking clearly. So, what this does is this can imbalance your metabolism. And when I got into all of this, I was about 12 pounds overweight 38 years ago. And what happened was, as soon as I started cleansing my intestinal system, then that weight went away in 6 weeks. So, and I was then clear in my mind. And that's when I got in nature health, and I could not stop reading books. My husband even said to me one night, he goes, "It's either herbs or me," right? Because I was spending all this time studying. I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop myself. I'd found my niche. So this is what peppermint really can help you do with all these things for your gut and also for your mind. So today we're going to do a peppermint ginger tea. We're going to have a not calming, but we're going to have a courageous and letting go peppermint meditation. We're going to have a peppermint spray and a castor oil pack for gut ache with peppermint. So let's go. So the things you're going to need, um, these are all the things that you will need. And I know that you guys don't have all of these things, but how many of you brought some of these things? Raise your hand if anybody had a chance to bring the things. Oh, great. Carolyn, Brenda, and Andrea. Well, super. And one more person. Fantastic. That's great, you guys. Okay, so you need 2-ounce 60 ml bottle sprayer, 10 ml of brandy, 50 ml of water, a 1-ounce plastic squeeze bottle, a cookie sheet, unbleached wool or cotton flannel. Then there's ginger for the essential oils, orange, chamomile, and peppermint. Peppermint flower essence, mimulus, pink yarrow, cherry plum, garlic, and chamomile. And then we have in our carrier oils, we have castor oil. And then for our drink, we have peppermint tea, ginger tea, 8 ounces of water, and a teacup. All right. So here is our spray. I've already made it. So you have a 2-ounce 60 ml bottle sprayer, and you're going to put 20 drops of orange in it, 10 drops of peppermint, 6 drops of chamomile, and 6 drops of ginger. What this does, this helps you release stress, tension, brings an expanding and warming energy to your body, like orange, okay? It helps you stay calm and you easily eliminate. The chamomile in it relaxes you, the ginger warms you up with the peppermint, and the peppermint also stimulates your digestive system, and the orange moves things and warms things and expands you out. So, as for the flower essences, it's 4 drops of peppermint, 4 drops mimulus, 4 drops yarrow, 4 drops cherry plum, 4 drops garlic, 4 drops pink yarrow, and 4 drops chamomile. So how the overall flower essence blend works is it works with mindfulness, with a sense of wholeness. Garlic does that. That's mindfulness comes from the peppermint, but the wholeness and the resilient part of it comes from the garlic flower. And then if we look at the courage to meet everyday challenges, that is mimulus, while having appropriate boundaries with others. That's pink yarrow. So you're not focusing on one person, you're not taking on their stuff, you're not becoming a little codependent. Say your wife drinks a lot, and so you're constantly wondering what's going to happen to her, what's doing it. There's nothing you can do about it, right? Probably the best thing for you to do is go to a meeting and talk about it with other people. Even if you don't think your partner is an alcoholic, but they're drinking, they probably are, but you've just put it denial in the back of your head, it might be good for you to go online and look at AA and see those kinds of things, because the more we get stuck in someone else's energy, we've got all this congestion in the head still. We can't go on with our life. And it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So this formulation is going to be really helpful. It's going to give you that strength, that resilience, and that courage with appropriate boundaries. And then the chamomile in it is going to be calming, and the cherry plum is going to help you let go and know that things are going to work out. Let go and let God, right? So that's what this blend of flowers is about. Then we have our carriers of water and brandy, of course. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your essential oils, your flower essences in here, your water and your brandy. You're going to roll the bottle between your hand to mix it thoroughly. You're going to shake it up. You also are going to tap it on the bottom to get the flower essences going. And you're going to apply it by spraying it around you when you start feeling tense and stressed. Or when you start feeling maybe this bloating starting to come on, right? You don't want that. You don't want to go to pain. When you feel something coming on, nip it in the bud. Don't sit there in it. Do something about it, okay? And this is going to help pull you out of it. So do that. All right, let's go to our next formulation. And this is our castor oil pack. I apologize, I don't have a way to show you. I have searched all over for my castor oil pack, and I have it and I washed it, and I have misplaced it somewhere in this house. And it's a castor oil pack that my detox program got me. And Terry, she's on today. She found it, and they even measured it to fit me perfectly. And it was just wonderful. I really appreciate all my detoxers, Marcia, Kathy, Terry, all of you guys that were in the first program. And for that, every time I put it on, I think of all you guys. And so what you need to do is you take a plastic bottle, and I get one of it's like a ketchup bottle, right? Those plastic ones you take to the beach and you can just squeeze out. Well, you take that and you put 10 drops of orange. You can put it in a little amber bottle like this if you want. 10 drops of orange, 5 drops of peppermint, 3 drops of chamomile, 3 drops of ginger. And this again releases your stress, your tension, and it's going to help you eliminate better. Then the same flower essences, peppermint, 4 drops of each one, peppermint, mimulus, pink yarrow, cherry plum, garlic, pink yarrow, and chamomile. And then you're going to put that in 1 ounce of castor oil in that plastic bottle. Then you take a cookie sheet. You put your cookie sheet down, and in the cookie sheet, you put your unbleached wool cotton flannel, which is about 12 inches to 14 inches. And what you do is you squirt that plastic bottle over the top of that cotton flannel. Then you take your hand and you rub it all through that cotton flannel. All right, smooth the oil with your hand. Then you apply the castor oil pack over your belly button area where you're going to cover all your large intestine. That means your ascending colon on the right, your transverse colon above your belly button there in the belly button area, then your descending colon on the left and ascending colon. Okay. You're going to put it on there, and you can put a heating pad over the top of it or a hot water bottle on top of it if you want. You can tie it where you can find those. You can buy those where they tie on. This one Velcro that they got me, that which was really cool. And you can leave it on all night if you want. You can put it on for 15 minutes. You can sit with it while you watch TV at night, something like that. And it really does work for gas, bloating. I mean, they all used it for pain. It was wonderful. Castor oil is very penetrating. And the thing about castor oil is it's used in medication. And the reason it's used in medication is because it penetrates the skin very easily and allows the medication to get into the skin. Okay? That's how it's used in pharmaceutical products. So when someone tells you, castor oil has no benefits, it does. It penetrates and it's very soothing. Okay. So this is really a good formulation. Let me see if there's any questions here in the chat really quick. Mimulus is for courage and cherry blossom is for letting go. Those were questions by Cynthia. Thank you for asking. Marcia says, do you use flower essence that are in alcohol or in glycerin? I use flower essences in alcohol. If you have some in glycerin, it's fine. It just depends on the medium that you want that your flower essence comes in and that you like. If you want to have it in glycerin, because maybe you have problems with alcohol, or if you want to use it, if you want to use an alcohol one, put it in your hot tea like we are today, and you just let it burn off. You can do it that way. But if it's going into your skin, whether it's alcohol, it doesn't really matter then. But glycerin, you will have a little bit of a sticky aspect to it, just so you know. Okay, but you're only putting 4 drops of each one, so it's not a lot, but you could just have a tiny bit of, and I would not suggest the apple cider vinegar ones in this because it will break up the oil a little bit. You'll have to, shake it up really, really, really good, mix it up, stir it up really good. And then Cynthia said, cherry blossom is good for what? It's good for letting go. And pink yarrow is good for setting boundaries with others, not taking on other people's problems. Okay, you have a boundary around you saying, nope, not today. Nope, not going to do that. So let's make sure that you use that pink yarrow if you're having that kind of challenge. Okay, so that's our castor oil. And let's now go to our acupoints for gut aches. Wow. There is a lot of good acupoints for headaches and also for gut aches. So here I left the reference from yesterday, but this is stomach 36, the first one we're going to do. So what you can do is, if you want to take your blend from yesterday, if you made it, you can. But stomach 36 is 4 fingers below your knee. You won't be able to see my leg here, but 4 fingers below your knee on the exterior there. It's right there. Okay. So you can hold this point. We're going to hold it for 30 seconds. And if you can hold both points on both sides. Okay. And this one is, it helps with bowel movements, gastric pain, vomiting, abdominal distension, diarrhea, indigestion, and constipation and abdominal pain. It also strengthens your digestive system and promotes it. So is anybody sore there on that one? Anybody sore? I'm not sore there on that one. Let me see here. Oh, I'm a tiny bit on my left, but not on my right. Okay, so now we're going to do our triple warmer 6. Triple warmer 6, this is an easy one to do too. It's located on the outer side of the forearm, okay? It's about 3 inches width from the crease of the wrist, okay? And it's between the radius and the ulna here. So 3 down, so we got 3 fingers there, and you just go right here and you hold it. So we'll hold that one. And this one promotes bowel movements by stimulating the peristalsis, right? And it also helps to relieve bloating, abdominal discomfort, support fluid metabolism, and reduce stress. So we're holding that one. And now let's go over to the other side. Remember your wrist crease here, 3 fingers like that. And you're going to press in here between those 2 bones there and hold it. There you go. Press in there. How many of you feel any kind of tension or stress in that area, or if you have pain? Okay. Brenda, Kathy, great for sharing, you guys. I'm feeling energy running up through my head, going down into my feet from this one. It's just really incredible. Now we're going to go to large intestine 4, which we did yesterday, which is located in the web, right in between your thumb and your pointer finger. And so you're going to give yourself a little like massager. And I like to go in a circular motion in this one. This relieves pain all over the body. It boosts the immune system. And it's great for headaches. It also is the yuan source point of the large intestine 4 channel and can remove qi and regulate qi. So if you've got something stuck, right? Again, moving that qi. Okay. And then go to the other hand in between the web, the pointer finger and the thumb, and massage it. Now I'm feeling more things in my head. How are you guys feeling? Anybody have pain in that? Let me look on in the chat. Anybody has pain in that area? Oh, Carolyn said, after pressing that, my stomach rumbled. And then Cynthia said, a little when I pressed in my right side. So yeah, you can see how by just using these basic points how you'll have an immediate effect. Rex Andrea said, large intestine 4, but only sensitive on right side. Okay, great. So here's some really easy, simple acupressure points to do. So now let's make our wonderful tea. It's a very basic, simple tea, but it's a good tea because peppermint and ginger work synergetically together so well. They're warming, and what I love about peppermint is it warms you internally. Where, in herbalism, capsicum warms your exteriors, doesn't it? It warms your hands and your feet, where ginger warms your interior. And a lot of times we need the ginger to help us warm our center up so we can digest well. And the peppermint also stimulates, and it's a calmative, it calms you down. So it's 1 tea bag. Here I've made mine. 1 tea bag of peppermint, 1 of ginger, 8 ounces of water, a teaspoon of honey, and 1 drop of peppermint oil if you want to do that. And then four drops of each of the flower essences. So you place you place your water in a pan, bring it to a boil, reduce it to low heat. In the water, put in your peppermint and your ginger tea bag. Let it simmer for 15 minutes because the ginger is a root. So you have to cook it, you have to let it simmer for longer. Where if it's just the leaves of the peppermint, you only do it for 5 minutes. Take it off the heat. Then you're going to mix your honey and your peppermint essential oil together, and you're going to add that mixture. You're going to add that mixture along with your flower essences into your peppermint ginger tea. You're going to stir it well, and then you're going to drink it. And boy, is it nice. It's really nice. I also picked some peppermint leaves off my peppermint plant too, just to look at and smell. Oh, while I was in here getting ready for this class. So this is our tea. And how many of you guys normally drink peppermint tea or ginger tea? Oh, great. Wonderful. Lots of you. That's wonderful. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, and Robin said, hi, Lori. I felt pain on all of them. Okay, so it's great that you came today. Good. And so that'll start relieving your pain. And then Brenda said, yes, she felt pain in that area too. So thank you guys for sharing. I really appreciate it. And thank you for being here with me today. All right, so let's do our courage and let go meditation for gut aches. So you can grab your gut ache spray, spray it all around you, okay, like that. And then you're going to sit on the floor cross-legged or sit in a chair with your feet flat on the floor. This time we're going to place 1 hand on the heart and a hand on the belly button. And we're going to inhale through your nose. And we're going to say courage. And then we're going to exhale through our mouth. And we're going to say let go. And so we're going to do this for 3 minutes. Let me get my timer here. And let's begin. Inhale. Courage. Exhale. Let go. Inhale. Courage. Exhale. Let go. And continue. Just 1 minute left. Inhale, courage, exhale, let go. Okay, slowly open your eyes, shake it off, shake your legs, shake your arms a little bit, get yourself back in your body, and let me know in the chat how you're feeling. And we'd love to have you in our Common Sense community where you can have all these wonderful benefits and hang out with people who love natural health. And you can hang out with us on our group chats weekly at 9:30 a.m. Tuesday mornings. And then also be a featured member of the month where you can share your story, which is really important, and be on our YouTube channel. And then also our once a month interactive workshop that we do. And this one is going to be on irritation and itching from insect bites. And it's going to be all about mosquitoes, which is really important, how to repel them and how to use things to help you with your bites so they go away quick and you don't itch and scratch and make scars and get an infection. Remember too that all of your Common Sense community classes are NAHA approved. And also you get 10% off all of our webinars, live streaming courses, and programs. And Ruth has it in the chat for you. And it's only $19.95 for a monthly membership and $209.95 for a yearly membership. So get signed up as soon as possible so you can be in our mosquito, small insects, big threats, understanding the dangers and prevention, stop irritation, itching from insect bites using essential oils, flower essences, and acupressure on July 7th. Get signed up now. Can't wait to see you there. And our Q&A. Does anybody have any questions? Let me go to our chat and see if I missed anything. Cynthia said, amazing. Calm and more alert, Carolyn said. And Andrea said, sorry, had to leave. We'll review again later. Thanks for a great course, Lori. And Ruth put in the link. So get signed up as soon as possible. And Cynthia, yeah, I hope you come to the class. That way, sign up for our Common Sense. That way you get the class in the monthly subscription. And that way we can help you with those bites. Great. Okay. So let's rock on here. Thank you so much. We really appreciate all of you being here with us. Make sure that you check out our site and our blog and that you're in our Common Sense community and also that you go to our YouTube channel. Remember, we will send you the recording. Everyone who attended gets the slides. If you don't attend, you don't get the slides. So we will be sending you out the slides. It will probably be tomorrow. So also, if you need to contact me, you can contact me on WhatsApp or you can contact me at my email, lori@lorihargis.com. And let me check the private messages real quick. Here we go. Thank you, Lori. Loved your workshop. May I speak about yesterday? Yes, Kathy wants to say something. Of course you can. Kathy, let me go to you and let me oh yeah, your mic is off, Kathy. Can you say hello? Oh, your sound is not working, darn. Oh, I'd love to hear what what you said about yesterday. Yeah, turn it off and try it again. Now it's off. Now turn it back on. Oh, we still don't hear you. Can you write it in the chat? Cynthia says she's interested in the detox course and she's got to go. So she said, thank you. Great. So yeah, Kathy, what we can do is send me an email, tell me what it is, and then I'll send it out in an email to everybody. Since your sound doesn't work, I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for wanting to offer that. We really appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you for being on today. And you guys have a great day today. And don't forget your essentials. Use your common sense. Au revoir.